The citizens' comments part of any city council meeting is usually a mixed bag. If you watch enough of them, you begin to see the same kinds of people show up over and over again. There's the first kind of people who give their honest opinions regarding current issues in their community. Then they leave and go on with their lives. And then there's the other kind of people who rise from their parents' basement once every decade to attend a funeral, wedding, and or apparently a city council meeting. You can immediately identify a person of this type by how they saunter up to the front and then attempt to give the poor council his entire life story. And then he starts fizzling out around a third of the way into his rant when he realizes that he isn't getting the hoots and howls he was expecting from the crowd. However, today's guest on What's Booming Boomer ain't your typical citizen. This dude is on a whole different level, as you'll realize once we progress further into this anime.
I'm here for, I keep getting brochures in the mail about how you people are trying to, not make our taxes go up and stuff. I lived in West St. Paul for 55 years. I can never remember West St. Paul spending the money you people are spending.
To paraphrase the mumble jumbo that was just spewed, do you know who I am? I am John Doe. I've been chillin' in St. Paul for more than half a century, yo. I was around when the local zoo had a live T-Rex exhibit.
I mean, I know I only got 2 minutes, but I'll just say a few things. I think the dome costs us taxpayers like $900,000 a year. Robert Street, if I remember right, when I went to the meeting down at Thompson Park, it was going to be like $12 million. It's probably going to be $50 million. The government, I thought, was going to redo Robert Street at 2018, but you people couldn't wait to 2018. It probably won't even be done till 2018.
This is the part when John triumphantly jumps out of the plane, but then realizes he left his parachute on his seat. He starts throwing bits and pieces of information towards the council without referencing where he's getting the stuff. For all we know, his source for info is his shadow buddy. John's estimated cost for the project is hilarious. I know he isn't really shooting for accuracy here, but good gosh, what a horrible way to start the speech off.
Okay, Harmon Field, you bragged about, it's so beautiful. We put, $6 million or more in Harmon Field with all the lighted fields and everything. Every time I go by, I never see nobody playing ball. Tell me how many times that hockey rink's been used this winter.
I'm almost certain this guy changed subjects again, but if not, that is super weird. How do you play hockey on a baseball field? And how do you expect them to give you the exact number of times that skating rink has been used every winter? Do you want to install a camera and have someone taking notes of every person who comes and goes 24/7? You want to install a sign-in booth next to the attraction for a public skating rink?
I was up here saying, our winters are so warm, you can't even hardly have an outside hockey rink. They put the water park on the corner. You're afraid to go by because there's so many cars parked on the street. You're afraid a little kid might run out. You run the kid over. Whoever wanted to put it on the... There's two cars in the parking lot, and the streets are packed. Who said let's put the thing on the corner?
I guess now he's talking about a water park. Hopefully people aren't using the hockey rink for that.
You got rid of the parking lot that was close to the corner. It's ridiculous. I'd like to know, keep track of how many times these ball fields are used this summer. Keep track of how many times that hockey rink is used, and then brag about the money you put into Harmon Field.
Earlier that day, his wife asked him what he was going to bring up at the council meeting, and he just replied, yes. John Doe literally lit an entire forest on fire, and then gave the council a single pail of water to extinguish it. Actually, that might be giving him more credit than is due. He doesn't propose any solutions. Does John have any ideas of how the council could improve Western St. Paul's current conditions? I'm not sure he does, but turns out he's not done complaining about them.
Now I'm reading about this River Green, another trail or whatever. Let's put a tunnel under Robert Street or a bridge. Where's there room for that on Wentworth here? City Hall, we need a new City Hall. Last meeting at Thompson, the police chief was saying, we need a new police station because there's not enough room for the women police officers. The fire chief gets up. He needs a new fire department because they don't have enough room for training. I thought they're supposed to be trained before they got to be a fireman. Then the school, I was up here last year, the school was pushing for a new stadium up at the high school. That's going to be next. I mean, you people are spending money like there's no tomorrow. I don't understand it. And then you got to tell us that you're doing things so our taxes don't go up? It's ridiculous. Can anybody answer him any questions? Because every time I come up here and say anything, everybody says, I'll get back to you. And nobody ever gets back to you.
That line hit me right in the feels. Karen, if you're watching this video, please come back.
What am I? Did I say anything wrong?
If you'd like me to answer some of your questions, I can. I was letting you finish.
How on earth do you expect them to reply to that silly rambling speech of yours? You talked about so many upcoming projects that the trumpets of heaven would literally sound before the council would be able to answer all of your vague questions.
But I can also have staff get back to you with particular numbers. I can tell you that those fields are used, heavily used. We don't have our Park and Rec assistant director here tonight, and the other gentleman is on vacation, so I don't have numbers for you right now. But I can assure you that those ball fields are heavily used. The reason that we also went down to one hockey rink instead, if you'll remember, Harmon Park did have 2 outdoor hockey rinks. We went down to 1 for that very reason. It's so important that we provide that, but you're right, they're not used as much, so we went down to 1. The land is where it is. It's situated on a corner. You know, we're a completely built city. That's the only place Harmon Park was going to be, is where it was. It was going to continue to be where it was. I would tell you that the dome is very successful. And again, we don't have those folks here tonight, but it is very financially successful.
$900,000 a year taxpayers' money?
It is very financially
Why don't you give me a refund then if it's doing so great?
This was the moment John Dome knew he had won the debate. If he had a mic in his hand at this particular moment, he would have thrown it to the ground. The silence, of course, isn't because he brought up anything substantial, but rather his childish demeanor displayed throughout this talk with the council.
It does return on itself, and maybe Joan can speak to that a little bit.
I keep hearing that, but I come up last winter, I come up for 2 weeks straight just to see how many people were in there, and me and a few people were walking around inside.
Yeah, so I went to the skating rink / baseball field / swimming pool. I'm only joking, of course. It's now clear that these attractions are all separate entities. But anyways, I went in the winter time, and by the way, I'm not going to say what time of the day I actually visited the rink, because that's totally meaningless to my point, right? Oh my goodness gracious.
If you would like, our finance director can give you, our finance director would be happy to give you.
Take the 900,000 away a year then, see how much it makes. How much it's going to make then? The only reason they make the money because we're giving you 900,000.
Okay, well, I think you've made your point tonight, and if there's anything else.
Yeah, right, I made my point.
Thank you.
Right before the anime concludes, a surprise twist to the already complex plot emerges. John Doe decides to speak again. Clearly, he hadn't fully made his point yet.
Is there anyone else here for citizen comments?
Yeah, over my head.
Thank you.
That's the end of the video. This is Frostbite Forest signing off.